Hi, Christine.
Hi, Christine Solom, Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm representing Virginia Independent Consumers and Farmers Association. Our president sat on the task force that worked on this bill and went to 3 different meetings and so on. And we are in favor of this bill. I think, if no other reason, this bill should be passed because for the first time, Bigfoot, Farm Bureau, and agribusiness have agreed.
And she even supports it with me as the patron.
That's why it's so more.
If we can kind of bounce back and forth, Joel. Trey Davis with Virginia Farm Bureau. We served on the working group. Briefly, the point was made about the farm wineries. This is extremely similar, but instead of taking place at farm wineries, it takes place at an agricultural operation. That parcel has to be devoted to the bona fide production of crops, livestock, and everything else that's in that definition. So rather than being as open as agriculturally zoned, it has to be on a parcel where it is devoted to agricultural production. I think that's a distinction to make, but we served on the working group. And I think we've have a bill where everybody still has some issues with it, but hopefully they're not too significant at this point. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, I was on the working group as well. Joel Salatin from Polyface Farm, and my son and your son were in 4-H together.
Oh, cool.
In Virginia State, and you sent him a nice email the other day.
Okay.
So, I got a letter from him. Politician.
Y'all want to hug now?
Yeah. Afterwards.
I'll meet you later.
Takes too much time. But yes, I would echo the fact that the epiphany for me on the working group was the day that it became obvious in the first meeting that we could do all sorts of things. We could have a wedding at our farm. We could have a school group come out. We could sell some, some of the neighbors' pumpkins. We had all these freedoms if we sold wine. But if we would rather sell carrots or chickens, we didn't have any of those freedoms. That was a big light to me. That was an epiphany. And I think it was a breakthrough on the committee as well, when we kind of realized that the winery group had carved out over time, bless their hearts, for themselves these privileges that those of us that aren't into wine
I didn't know that either.
couldn't do. So this, I think that you should look at this as giving chicken people, carrot people, tomato people, the same privileges as the folks who make wine. And that is just, that seems clear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Phil Strother. I am the chair of the Virginia Wine Council. The Virginia Wine Council represents more than 250 wineries, vineyards, and cideries across the Commonwealth. The legislation before you today is critical to the entire agriculture industry. We are grateful to have worked with other stakeholders in the greater agriculture community to make sure that the provisions provide similar protections to the legislation that you, the General Assembly, has previously passed. The Virginia wine industry supports more than 4,000 jobs in the Commonwealth, generates $750 million economic impact in Virginia. Nationally, the industry ranks 5th in wine production grapes, 5th in the number of wineries in the nation. Farm wineries work with and support surrounding businesses, communities, and with their neighbors. They are critical to Virginia's successful agritourism industry, generating $131 million in wine tourism expenditures. On behalf of the Virginia Wine Council, I urge you to support the legislation that has been brought forth today. The amendments provided in House Bill 268 regarding on-farm wine activities provide critical provisions that recognize the importance to the entire Virginia agriculture industry and to Virginia's economic vitality.
Let's see if we have any questions. Any questions? Thank you for making the trip.